Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here today. Look, if you're a focused learner looking to totally master the art of human connection, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're unpacking a really fascinating piece of source material centered around an astrological concept known as the harmonic envoy. We're specifically looking at Venus in the third house. But we aren't just going to look at this through a purely astrological lens. Today, I'm putting on my expert career coach hat because the source material we're exploring provides a literal masterclass, like a total blueprint for professional networking and everyday communication. We're going to distill this planetary influence down into actionable, daily strategies you can use to absolutely supercharge your career. So grab your notebook and let's get ready to transform how you connect with the world.
Okay, let's dive right into this definition. So in traditional Vedic astrology, Venus is the planet that basically governs charm, harmony, relationships, and diplomacy. Now, I want you to imagine taking all of that beautiful magnetic energy and just dropping it right into the third house. The third house is the domain of communication, networking, your siblings, your neighbors, and honestly, those tiny micro interactions you have every single day. When these two collide, boom, you get a foundational personality trait where social grace basically becomes your most valuable asset. As a career coach, I'm constantly telling my clients that networking isn't just about those awkward mixers with the terrible name tags, right? It's about what you do in your everyday interactions. This placement really shows us how blending your natural charm with daily communication creates an incredibly powerful foundation for relationship building.
Section 1. The likable communicator, personal charm. Let's look at the individual for a second, because any great daily networking routine absolutely has to start with your personal charm and how you project yourself out into the world. What's so interesting here is how politeness is framed, not as a weakness, but as a massive strategic advantage. The sources highlight that this planetary influence creates a communication style that is inherently pleasant, tactful, and just considerate. People naturally enjoy talking with you. Think about your morning arrival at the office, or even your first Zoom call of the day. A likable communicator starts with his natural warmth and social grace, making those everyday interactions significantly more enjoyable for everyone involved. Actually, I was recently working with a professional, let's just call him David, who was really struggling to close deals. By consciously tapping into this Venus energy, simply being more tactful, asking genuinely considerate questions, and radiating warmth rather than relying on aggressive sales tactics, he entirely shifted his personal brand. His popularity among coworkers and clients literally skyrocketed, and he secured far better client relationships just by being genuinely pleasant. Section 2. Connections close to home. Let's see how this builds outward. We're stepping away from the individual's inner traits and looking at their immediate environment, literally the people right outside their front door. The text points out that this charm positively impacts everything close to home. We're talking friendly relations with your neighbors, mutual support with your siblings, and hey, even romantic connections sparked in familiar environments. But let's look at this through the career lens, for your daily commute and your local community. You should never, ever underestimate the power of environmental harmony. You know that neighbor you casually chat with by the mailbox? They might just be the key to your next big career move. Furthermore, the source notes that inspiration is often found on pleasant, short journeys and weekend outings. So if you're feeling stuck on a project at work, a quick trip to a local coffee shop could bring the exact creative inspiration, or maybe even the casual networking encounter you need to break through. It's all about cultivating goodwill everywhere you go, not just when you're officially on the clock. Section 3. Networking and career growth. Now, let's pivot fully into the professional room. We've established the daily routine of personal warmth and local community engagement, but how does this actually translate to the boardroom? Ask yourself this question directly. How does friendly charm build concrete career opportunities? I mean, it's really easy to think of the business world as this cutthroat arena where only the loudest or most aggressive survive, but the harmonic envoy proves there is a completely different, highly effective path to success. Let's break down exactly how to use this. So the crucial point is how we harness this energy. Diplomatic conflict resolution is a major, major asset here. The text notes that this planetary influence allows you to smooth over misunderstandings through kindness and compromise. Imagine a super common office conflict, say two departments clashing over a budget. Instead of digging your heels in, you use your charm and tact to find a middle ground. Boom, you become the invaluable peacemaker. Next up is creative communication. The sources highlight real talents in writing, speaking, and design. You can leverage these artistic communication talents to massively boost your personal brand. A beautifully written, empathetic email or a really well-designed pitch deck absolutely sets you apart. And finally, building opportunities. Guys, this is the heart of gentle networking. Opportunities arise not through force, but through cooperation. You build long-term career growth because people genuinely want to work with you. You aren't kicking doors open. Your goodwill is naturally unlocking them. Section 4. The harmony trap, the core duality. But as with literally any powerful tool, there is a catch. As your career coach today, we definitely need to look at the two contrasting sides of this diplomatic communication style. It's a climax we can think of as the harmony trap. Let's look at what the text calls the higher expression of Venus in the third. It says, "My words create connection, harmony, and mutually beneficial relationships." This is the ultimate goal. This is exactly what healthy networking sounds like. It's when you're using your charm authentically. You're actively building bridges, collaborating, and making sure that everyone at the table is benefiting from the relationship. When you operate from this higher expression, your career growth, it feels almost effortless. However, we have to ground ourselves for a second and look at the lower expression, which the source defines as this: I avoid difficult conversations to keep everyone happy, even when honesty is needed. Now, this is the hidden pitfall of over-diplomacy. If your need for harmony overrides your commitment to the truth, you will absolutely stall your career. Let's be real, people-pleasing is not the same thing as networking. If you see a fatal flaw in a project, but you stay quiet just to keep the meeting pleasant, you aren't being a harmonic envoy. You're being an enabler. And this brilliantly illustrates the core duality we really have to navigate. On one side, we have healthy harmony, using goodwill to build real opportunities. On the other, we have toxic avoidance, dodging difficult conversations entirely. As a professional, your main challenge is to maintain the pleasant, tactful charm of Venus without falling headfirst into toxic avoidance. True diplomacy sometimes means delivering bad news or constructive criticism, but doing so with so much grace and tact that the other person feels respected, not attacked. That is the true superpower of this placement. You absolutely don't have to sacrifice honesty just to keep the peace. Which brings us to our final thought for this explainer. I really want you to look at your own daily communication habits and ask yourself, are your words creating true connection, or are you just avoiding the truth? I'm going to leave you with that provocative thought today. True networking, true long-term career growth comes from authentic connection, a daily routine of genuine warmth, and the absolute courage to be both exceptionally kind and fiercely honest. Thank you so much for joining me for this deep dive into the source material. Take these concepts, apply them to your daily professional life, and just watch what happens. Keep learning, keep connecting, and I will see you next time.